Press.
Curry's got it. He'll dance. He'll throw up a shot. Oh, goodness. Are you kidding me? Geometrically, that should not have happened.
Oh, my goodness. Jalen Williams with the one-hand throwdown. Bang! 25 seconds. Westbrook a three. You bet!
This is why playoff NBA basketball is so fun to watch. These guys are giving it everything. Every possession, every rebound, battle.
Fun opening weekend for the 2025 NBA playoffs, and we start our show with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler facing the Houston Rockets in Game 1 here. Sinead Gumake, you were in the building, so you saw early on Houston trying to make a statement.
This was the play that got everyone out of their seats. I was like, okay, this is going to be the time where the Rockets have arrived, but then things turned, but we have to appreciate the big dunk.
Big time throwdown there for baby Jokic, Alperen Şengün. Second quarter, though, Jimmy Butler hits the floater here. Needed that because Steph Curry started out 0 for 3 in this game.
And Jimmy said he don't like settling for threes, got to his spots, and that's what you bought Jimmy for. When Steph is struggling, he takes over and carry the load.
He struggled for about 5 seconds, Mark Spears, because he gets a handoff, hits the 3 here. He had 16 first half points. It's the 50th career first half for him in the postseason with 15 or more.
We don't get tired of seeing that. You've been watching that since
I think some Houston fans
Yeah, Houston fans have been tormented by this for years. This is a new flavor, though, with Jimmy Butler in the mix here, Sinead.
His ability to hyper-focus, and I remember he turned and was like, hey, you like that one? You like that one? I heard him say that. I was right behind it.
A minute later here with the clock winding down, this is when the great Kevin Harlan said geometrically, this doesn't even make sense.
Listen, I was right there, and I was like, there's no chance, and then it was, oh, my goodness.
See who's loving it? Warriors Governor Joe Lacob saying, how did I get so lucky to have this man in the Golden State Warriors uniform for so long? Going ahead to the fourth quarter here, this is more Curry magic, Perk.
On a hell of a defender, by the way. And look, he's hitting threes whether he's chewing on that damn mouthpiece or not.
But Houston would hang around after trailing by double digits.
That was
they would bully their way back into this one.
They did. They tried, but free throws, his shots, layups, those are just gifts to Steph Curry.
Couldn't get over the hump.
Curry finished with 31 in this one, and then Butler here sizing up Şengün, who did have a heck of a game, and then hits the step back here. And then 30 seconds later here, Butler,
dagger,
steal, leaks out for the jam. He finished with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals in the win. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. He's loving his Batman.
Like I always say, Batman comes out of nowhere. You never see him coming, then he just falls from the sky, from a building, behind the door, and does some incredible things, man. He's going to be the reason that we do win it all. We all know that, but we got to protect him at all costs.
He has a knack for big moments, even if it's not him, finishing the play. He hit a big shot at the elbow, but just a guy that is composed with the ball, his poise out there, his presence.
The Butler dined out in Game 1, becoming the first player with at least 25 points and 5 steals in a playoff debut for a franchise since steals became official here. Perk, it is the Golden State Warriors who take Game 1 here, but for the Houston Rockets, what's going to be the biggest area of improvement to focus on for Game 2?
It's obvious. They're going to have to knock down shots. They were one of the worst shooting teams in the league this season from the three-point line. In the postseason, you have to make shots. They were 6 for 29 last night from the 3. Also, make the simple play. Like in these moments of going against an experienced team, that home run pass is not there. They got something that's called the hockey assist that actually leads to the pass. So when you're playing a veteran group, don't try to, knock it out the park on one play. Just keep it simple.
Perk, you know what we say down south?
What's
don't
that?
Don't be cute. Don't be cute. That's what the Rockets are doing, right, Mark?
Yeah, I've been watching Jalen Green for a long time.
Yeah.
High school, prolific prep, your Oakland Soldiers.
Yeah.
G League Ignite, superstar scorer, iconic scorer, potentially Anthony Edwards type of scorer. That's why they drafted him number 2. But he was 14 points below his scoring average. He has to be a special scorer in order for the Rockets to have any kind of challenge in this series. But the Warriors have been excellent against him.
Absolutely.
He's only averaged 8 points in his 4 games against them. So he's told me he wants to be a superstar in this league. Jay, you in the playoffs. This is your shine. This is the spotlight You have to be a star in this series for the Rockets.
Houston starting backcourt, 7 of 34.
Don't do that to me. Look, I still have PTSD from what I witnessed yesterday, especially Steph Curry's shots. And shout out to the Rockets who take great care of me anytime I go to a game. My girl Gretchen out there. But you know what's crazy? She told me, like, we have the pyrotechnics back. We have the fire back. It's the playoffs. And then Steph Curry quickly extinguished those flames with those shots. But still, it's game one. This is a young squad. But one thing that I think a lot of people see when it comes to three-point shots and Steph and Jimmy Butler late, it's the offense. Cool. It was actually the defense that won them the game. You mentioned 7 for 34, the Rockets starting backcourt. That's what they were held to. Look at this defensive possession here. Alpi, everyone's hawking the ball. Steph, this is a mismatch. What's the height? 6'2" versus 6'11". What does Steph do? Hey, a lot of people have criticized the last few years. Is he going to be able to really dig down and defend? He did exactly that on that possession. Another possession here. Look at them running a 1-3-1. They run zone, the Warriors, because they know the Houston Rockets cannot shoot from three. Unfortunately, they have to have a zone buster, which typically is Fred VanVleet. You double team the ball, which is great, but then you lose sight of the shooter, and still there's 2 players able to contest. Whether it was double teams, mismatches, zones, it does not matter. But more importantly, Jimmy Butler, ever since he arrived, the Golden State Warriors have the #1 defensive efficiency and lead the NBA in deflections. That side cannot be ignored.
Yeah, and when you look at the Houston Rockets, maybe they go a little bit more double big because you see someone like Steven Adams had a beast of a game in this one, Perk. But do you have more faith in the Golden State Warriors after seeing this game one that this could be a deep playoff run for them?
Hell yeah, I'm a believer. I believe.
Wait.
No. I believe.
So not we believe, I believe.
No, I believe in the Golden State Warriors. I picked them to win this series in 7 games. I mean, I apologize to them. I know you've been, doing your thing.
I saw your tweet and I thought you said.
Hold on. I know you've been doing your thing, okay, on women's basketball. But about a month ago, I apologized to the Golden State Warriors and said I was wrong about them, right? This is the second best team in the Western Conference. This really is, right? They have a legit shot at going to the finals. I still have OKC, but Jimmy Butler, what he brings to the table, Swiss Army knife, will cut you everywhere but loose.
Who both had a wonderful Easter, the Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karam. Gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of in business mode. We're talking playoffs. You care if we just dive right in?
Let's go.
The Warriors came to play last night in Houston. Golden State built a big lead early and withstood a comeback from the Rockets in the fourth to win game 1 of the series. Steph Curry was in vintage form, sinking 5 threes, scoring a game-leading 31 points. Here's Butler on Steph, a.k.a. Batman.
Batman comes out of nowhere. You never see him coming, then he just falls from the sky, from a building, behind the door, and does some incredible things, man. He's going to be the reason that we do win it all. We all know that, but we got to protect him at all costs.
All right, so here's what I want to know. Were you more disappointed in Houston's performance or impressed with what Golden State did?
Well, I was disappointed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from Golden State. What we saw from Steph and Jimmy Butler, however, is something that I expected. What I did not expect was for Houston to shoot 39% from the field. I didn't expect them to shoot 21% from 3-point range. I didn't expect Jalen Green. I mean, you got to remember when it comes to Jalen Green and what this brother brings to the table, he's a preeminent face of the franchise, Shannon. And so what you have to think about, if you're the Houston Rockets, you've got a couple of the picks that the Phoenix Suns, you ultimately got from the Phoenix Suns. You'd love to get that back. There's been rumors about how KD could end up being in Houston because obviously Phoenix needs to recoup. They need to retool, and they've got to find a way to position themselves to get some additional assets for somebody like a KD. Well, if you're Houston, you'd have to give up a player. If you're Jalen Green, you don't want to be in Phoenix. You want to be in Houston with what Ime Udoka is building there. But you show up last night and you wet the bed. You don't get it done. Fred VanVleet's a champion. He doesn't really get it done collectively, shooting the basketball. They don't get it done. We know what they can do defensively. We know they're long. We know they're athletic. The question is, can you put the ball in the hole? This is why the Warriors were picked by so many to win this series, because we knew that when it was time, you got somebody to get the ball to, in Steph Curry. In their case, they've got 2 individuals, but we did expect Houston to look a little bit better offensively. And that was my only thing, Shannon. I didn't expect them to look this bad offensively. I did not expect them to look this bad offensively. That was my issue, and that's why that's why I say I'm a bit disappointed.
I agree with everything you just said, Stephen A., because I was expecting 2 of their 3 best players to play well, and one of them there, only Sengun showed up and played. Jalen Green did not play well. Amen Thompson did not play well. Fred VanVleet, I don't think he's played well all year. And so when you combine that, we got what you expected from the Golden State Warriors. Everybody expected Steph to show up. That's why they went and got Jimmy Butler. That's why they extended him and gave him 2 years, $120+ million, because they know in moments like this, he doesn't shrink. He rises to the occasion. But I was very disappointed in Houston Rockets. And I think the thing that Rockets is going to learn at some point in time, you're going to have to find a guy that you can put the ball in his hands and he can go get you a bucket. They don't have that. Collectively, they are a very good team. If you look at all the other teams, every other team in the playoffs, with the exception of the Rockets, I believe, has someone that can put the ball in his hands, Stephen A., and they can go get a bucket. They like to, their team is by committee. You have a Jalen Green, you have an Amen Thompson, you have a Sengun, but you don't have one guy. You say, hey, guys, go get this bucket. They don't have that. And last night, I think their inexperience, I think their youth, it showed its ugly head. They're in trouble. They're in trouble because Golden State always felt that they could beat this team. And I don't see any reason why they should lose any confidence. Now, look, Amen is going to have these guys to come back, and they're going to play well. But I was very disappointed in the Rockets, Stephen A., because I expected them to show me a little more, considering they had the 2 seed wrapped up for almost 2 weeks, and I expected them to come out and play better. Now, they came out, had a little lead, and next thing you know, the Warriors don't miss. Steph Curry takes off, hit a couple of shots falling out of the sky, and they win this game going away, really.
Well, listen, they were down 23. They came back. I give them credit for that. You held Golden State to 95 points. I give them credit for that. But where the indictment against them offensively comes into play, not only did they not shoot well from the field, not only did they not shoot well from three-point range, Molly, they missed 9 of 20 free throws. I mean, come on now. I mean, this is the playoffs. If you can't make free throws, and especially if you're a team that struggles offensively, you've got to be able to make free throws. And I'm telling you right now, I don't give a damn how well they played defensively. I don't give a damn how well they out-rebound Golden State, which they did last night. I think it was like 52-36. If you can't shoot from the field, from three-point range, or from the free throws, essentially you can't score, which means you have no shot at beating Golden State. They better get in that gym and practice making some damn shots, period.
Shannon, final word
Stephen
here,
A.,
then we'll keep it pushing.
Stephen A., I'm looking at Jalen Green over his last 5 games. He has 7 points, 2 points, 7 points, 5 points, 21 points. So if you go back and look at him over the last 5 or 6 games, he has not shot the ball well. He has not played well. And remember, against the Lakers, Stephen A., I think he only played like 15 minutes. So he's going to have to play much better, and we know he's capable of doing that. If they don't have any chance to win, he's going to have to help Sengun.
We'll leave it there. All right, guys, speaking of struggles, game 1 couldn't have gone worse.
Carlos Boozer is here, and Marcus Morris is here. And let's just start right there. I got people saying to me here this morning, that's it. Warriors just won this series. They're playing the 2 seed. They're playing a team that had an unbelievable year. But seeing what we saw in game 1, they're ready to pencil the Warriors into round 2. Marcus, do you feel that way?
Why are we just now starting to pencil them in? You have playoff Jimmy, and you have Steph Curry. Are you surprised at these performances? I'm just not. We've been seeing it, and this is what I've been saying. These guys are veterans. These guys know how to win games. They know how to close games. And listen, playoff Jimmy being able to score the ball as well as he's doing right now and defend is like having 2 Draymond Greens on the court right now, and one of them now can really score from 3 levels. Steph Curry is just doing what we've been seeing him do over the years.
So, Booze, I'm just doing this in my head, but going back to last Sunday when they played that overtime game against the Clippers, Hembo, make sure I have this right. And then they play the play-in on Tuesday night, and now game 1 of this series yesterday. They've gotten at least 25 points from Steph and Jimmy Butler in all 3 of those games, right? When it starts to matter, these stars are stepping up and ready to go. So all this speculating, what's it going to be like when we get to the playoffs? Those 2 guys look ready.
They look in sync, man. They're playing well off of each other. They pick their points. Even last night, Jimmy had moments where he needed a bucket. They went to him. He got in paint, 2 feet in the paint, got a bucket, hit a big 3, obviously pointing at Reggie Miller, one of the best shooters of all time. But these 2 guys are doing such a great job carrying the offense. And Jimmy also defensively. This Warriors team was so great defensively. You hold VanVleet to 4 for 19 shooting. You hold Jalen Green, who's their leading scorer, 3 for 15. They only had 17 points combined in their backcourt. Phenomenal job defensively for this team.
I got to give it up to him, Marcus, when they made this trade for Jimmy Butler. I remember Draymond Green saying, probably on his podcast, I forget where he said it, but he said, we just won the championship. And I remember thinking, well, I guess if you're an athlete, you have to think that way, but it sounded ridiculous to me in the moment. It doesn't feel so ridiculous right now, Marcus. Why do these two guys look so good together? Why do Steph and Jimmy Butler fit so well together?
Well, Jimmy Butler is a guy that plays the game the right way. So, like, I'm not even surprised that he was able to plug him in. I think you could plug Jimmy Butler in anywhere in the NBA. He knows how to play. He's been watching Steph Curry. These are two veteran guys. He likes to get guys involved, but now we're seeing him be aggressive when the team needs him to be aggressive, needs to score the ball. And Steve Kerr is putting him in great spots to get to his spots, raise up. And even when he's getting into the paint, he's always looking for Steph. So, just the intangibles that he brings, I'm not even surprised that it's gelling that well.
The other thing I would add too is that these guys are hungry to win. Jimmy Butler has no championships. Yeah. He wants a championship, and they keep the main thing the main thing. They want to win it.
He's never won a championship. And think about what's at stake for Steph. I mean, we're way early. You need to win 16 playoff games to get there. They won one. So let's not get ourselves way crazy yet. But the things that could be at stake for Steph Curry as we work our way towards the possibility of a fifth NBA championship.
First round matchups in the NBA delivered on Sunday, a beatdown by the Thunder that landed them in the history books.
Yesterday, we also focused, of course, on the good book. Meanwhile, Steph Curry adding another page to his book. It is a storied book with many, many leather-bound chapters. Can he add another title to it? Steph Curry taking on these Rockets. Jimmy Butler making his playoff debut with the Warriors. He'll get that to go. Golden State goes up a half a dozen, but they would open up this lead in a big way. 2 minutes left. Dubs up by 4. Steph was pulling from everywhere in this game. That was probably one of his more normal shots that he took and hit in this game. This from the Toyota Center logo. Golden State has eliminated the Rockets 4 times between 2015 and 2019. Steph both did say, obviously the makeup of this Rockets team is so much different than it was. Jimmy Butler hits the triple. You know who wasn't hitting any shots? Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green. They combined to go 7 for 34. Steph falling into the courtside seats. It's what you pay for. All right, to have a moment like that. You can't play better defense than what Jalen Green did. Arm outstretched, hand in his face. It didn't matter. The Warriors were up by 23 at one point in the third quarter. We moved to the fourth. And again, Steph was feeling it, man. He was 5 for 9 from 3. He had 31 points. This is Jabari Smith Jr. He hits a triple. So the Rockets, they're down 5. Now they're down 3 thanks to the odd man Thompson high percentage shot. But 5 minutes to go. It's the Dubs. Brandon Pajemski inbounding to Steph. When he feels it, he feels it. Draymond Green said after the fact, listen, if we are going to win, we need Steph to be great. And he certainly was. And then he had a sidekick in Jimmy Butler, who went for 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, this steal, this finish. Warriors get game 1. This is the 7 seed in Golden State, taking care of business on the road against the 2 seed. Here's Jimmy after the win.
Like I always say, Batman comes out of nowhere. You never see him coming, then he just falls from the sky, from a building, behind the door, and does some incredible things, man. He's going to be the reason that we do win it all. We all know that, but we got to protect him at all costs.
And in case we need to make this overtly clear, of course he's talking about Steph Curry, as we are now talking to Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. joining the program. D, fantastic to see you. Curry, 37 years young. He dropped 31 on one of the youngest teams in the league. This after having a career worst game last time he played the Rockets, where he had just 3 points. Put into perspective what we witnessed last night.
Well, first you were talking about the good book and everything. Jimmy's been reading comic books. Like this dude, he's kind of dragging the Batman thing a little bit with Steph Curry. But I understand he's excited. How could you not be? Like when you're talking about Stephen Curry, it's about time that when we talk about all time, I took this personally, I'm going on the court to rip your heart out. We really got to talk about Steph Curry and Michael Jordan as being the top 2 guys to do that. Steph heard the noise all leading up to this series about Amen Thompson was going to stop him. He knows about the 3 points, the 1 for 10, and he went out there and demoralized that Houston Rockets defense. In the first quarter, they were hounding him. They were grabbing him. He was getting to the basket. He was making his layups. But that second half, The Rockets did everything they possibly could, and every shot it seemed like Steph Curry made was a heartbreaking shot. They defended him well, and these were circus shots that only him in the world can make these shots, and he tired that Rockets team out and gave them a lot to think about come game 2 because nothing they did worked against him.
2 weeks after, Houston was probably feeling pretty confident after holding Steph to just 3 points. When he played 30 minutes in that game, he went for 31 last night. Game 2, Wednesday night, 9:30 Eastern. D, hang tight. Amina, what you got?
Dub Nation, last night's game brought a wave of mixed emotions for Golden State Warriors fans. On one hand, the team delivered a dominant 148-106 victory over the San Antonio Spurs, their highest-scoring game of the season. On the other hand, the celebration was overshadowed by a troubling setback. Jonathan Kuminga re-injured his right ankle, the same one that sidelined him for 31 games earlier this year. The injury occurred in the second quarter during an aggressive drive to the basket. He landed awkwardly, initially raising fears of a tailbone injury, similar to the one Stephen Curry suffered back in 2021. However, medical evaluations confirmed it was a new sprain in his already vulnerable right ankle. Kuminga will be re-evaluated tomorrow, and Warriors fans are understandably anxious. His two-way impact, especially in transition and versatile defense, is vital to the team's success. Despite the injury, the Warriors put on a show worthy of praise. The team logged 42 assists, 17 steals, and 34 fast break points, showcasing elite offensive flow and lockdown defense. Brandon Podziemski had a breakout night, hitting 7 of 9 from beyond the arc, while Moses Moody ended his slump, going 7 of 11 from the field and 3 of 6 from deep. The defense held the Spurs to just 17 points in the second quarter, highlighting a level of intensity that had been missing in recent games. Jimmy Butler, who had been criticized for a slow start in the previous matchup against the Pelicans, silenced doubters with explosive energy from the jump. He created turnovers, finished big dunks, and went a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line, an encouraging sign after recent struggles. With the game well in hand, Coach Steve Kerr used the opportunity to give extended minutes to bench players. Kevin Knox, Pat Spencer, and Trace Jackson-Davis all made solid impressions in the fourth quarter. Jackson-Davis stood out with his athleticism and paint presence, reigniting fan calls for him to be more involved in the rotation. The win keeps the Warriors in 6th place in the Western Conference, narrowly avoiding the play-in zone. The playoff race is tightening, with the Clippers declining and the Grizzlies in turmoil after parting ways with their head coach. The upcoming head-to-head matchup with Memphis could be pivotal in determining final seeding. Kuminga's injury is a major concern. When healthy, he brings explosiveness, defensive versatility, and transition scoring, traits that are difficult to replace. His return had boosted the rotation, and a serious injury now would be a heavy blow as the team fights for a direct playoff berth with only 8 games left. Meanwhile, Stephen Curry is still performing at an MVP level, and the team seems to have found its rhythm. The hope is to ride this momentum into the postseason and avoid the volatility of the play-in tournament. But looking ahead, an even bigger question looms. Should the Warriors offer Jonathan Kuminga a max contract? If not, would they be willing to match an offer from another team? The front office must decide whether Kuminga is a cornerstone for the future or a valuable trade asset. A reasonable approach might be to let the market set his value. A 5-year, $150 million deal could secure his long-term future without compromising salary flexibility. It's a gamble, but possibly a necessary one. So what do you think? Should the Warriors give Kuminga a max deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. In addition to Kuminga's situation, rim protection remains a need. The team has options in free agency and continues to monitor the trade market. With Steph Curry's championship window still open, the Warriors are expected to explore every opportunity to make a big-time addition. The upcoming offseason will be critical. Will the Warriors double down for another title run, or pivot toward financial restructuring? Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office face major decisions, and fans are watching closely. If you're a die-hard Warriors fan and excited to see how this all unfolds, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're covering the team from every angle, every step of the way. One thing is clear, while the future holds uncertainty, the Warriors, when healthy, remain one of the most dangerous teams in the NBA. Go Dubs!